So this is actually the second time that I'm recording this intro because the first time failed miserably. Um, there's certain things that I want to get off my chest, and one of the things is I want to be more accountable and more responsible for the goals that I have set in my mind. Um, and I think I'm getting better um, at making deadlines and doing things more efficiently, but at the same time, I think I could be doing a lot better. Um, One of the things that I really like to do is watch YouTube or watch documentaries just in general. And I think this is because, first of all, I have this innate desire to create. Uh, Whether those creations are for myself or for a certain community, I find it really fun to create. And yeah, I don't know, I just like to do it. And more so because now I study sculpture, it's something that I want to do as an occupation, hopefully. Um, and the second reason is me recording this video. In this process of creating, I also want to record and share my life with an audience that wants to be interested in my life. Um, and I don't know where this desire came from. I think it comes from, first and foremost, me being an only child. I think, my parents being busy. It's not like I was neglected at all, right? But it was more like um, there are things that I wanted to do, and there were people doing it on YouTube. And it's kind of like, okay, for example, if your mom and dad does what you want to be doing, I feel like you'd be asking them a lot of things, or at least I would. Um, when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of basketball content, a lot of practicing, not like games, but a lot of practice, because that was what I could relate to, and I thought that was cool. It's kind of me searching for mentors in a sense. These days, I look at a lot of artists in their studios just working. So it's never artists or basketball players in interviews or in games. I've always been obsessed with, or I've always enjoyed watching these professionals in the environment practicing their craft. And a part of me wants to record and keep a record of my hard work and my practices on the craft that I'm doing. I really enjoyed watching Levi Bentley's YouTube channel, and it inspires me a lot to this day because there's two aspects that I'm interested in. The physical wellness aspect plus the career aspect. The physical aspect has always been such an important thing to me because I've always been interested in philosophy, and more than that, I've been interested in living what means a good life. And parts of my life have contributed well to that, yet some parts of my life obviously haven't. I've been goofing around, I've been messing around, I've made mistakes, but that's to be expected. I'm only 21. But in this long run of wanting to create a meaningful life, wanting to have a fulfilling life, a happy life, wanting that and that being a dream of mine, I think I've become rather interested, or I think even obsessed with living in an efficient life. I think that could be a good trait of me, but also I think that could be a really bad trait of me. I've seen good and bad, um, and people have told me good and bad. Uh, but I think because I have this efficiency kind of mindset and I'm obsessed with um, this kind of lifestyle of being efficient, um, the body is really important to me. Um, Living a good life, a meaningful life, that's, let's say, the ground. And there's two plants that grow from that ground that help each other simultaneously as they grow together. One is the physical aspect of it. The physical aspect creates the environment for emotional aspects to grow, and then they start growing together. At least I feel like that's how it was for me. So I pursued a dream of basketball, and I started playing basketball in middle school or late, like eighth grade, is when I really started to wake up in the mornings, go to the local high school and just start practicing. Um, and then I went to America to play basketball at a higher level, because if the one time you live, I want to do something at a high level, or I want to pursue greatness. Um, so yeah, I think, through that I've developed this sense of um, a a a resistance, or um, I just I just prioritize my health a lot. And what does prioritizing health mean in this case? I think number one, it means control of addictive substances. Number one, I think could be alcohol. Um, to this day, I mean, it's not like I'm old or anything, but I really don't drink alcohol. I don't enjoy drinking alcohol. The only time I do drink alcohol is when um, there's sentimental um, reason to it. Number two is no nicotine at all. Number three, while it might be argued that drugs might be good for creative purposes or could be used for creative purposes, I've just never done drugs. Um, yeah, so I feel like those three are pretty big. Um, so I think the physical aspect of living a intentful and meaningful life, and obviously there is no one intentful or meaningful life. This is just the way how I want to live my life, and this is the way how I learn to live an intentful, meaningful life. This is just my interpretation of a good life, just for clarification. So the physical creates this environment for the work or a career to be produced. One of the biggest things that I've learned this summer is a lot of artists, they don't create a product, or they don't create a work. More so, they're interested in creating an environment that creates more possibilities of great innovative art or unique art or art of their own being created. It's not like, well, intended art is intended art. However, there's art with ego. And an art with ego, there's already a limitation to the possibilities of art. Art without ego, or art being produced through coincidence, mistakes, or certain happenings, are art without ego. There is no better or worse. It's just really the possibility of possibilities. Did that make sense? Um, I think these ideas and the way that I live my life is somewhat concrete and straightforward in my head, but I think at the same time, when I'm trying to explain it to another person or towards a camera, it becomes really difficult because in my head these are these are facts, the way I live my life, and it feels natural to me. However, if I try to put them in the English language, they're abstract. Some people, not some people, but in your mind, you understand things even if they're shapes because they're your thoughts and your shapes. But when you try to translate shapes into English, some things or some words, some shapes can't be translated directly at the spot. I guess what I'm getting at is the physical aspect of one's life, and this of course involves the mental aspect of being mentally healthy, being mentally at the right place, um, being able to endure um, uh, pain and heartbreak and struggles and all that hits you in life. I think can all be contributed in this one plant um, of what eventually creates a good life. Yeah, so the physical creates the environment. At least it does for me. The environment for me to now understand and reflect and think in retrospect of the emotions that I feel day to day. I think a lot. And I think the reason that I'm able to oh my god. I think the reason that I'm able to think a lot is because I'm not relying on anything but will. I'm not relying anything that gives me an escape, if that makes sense. Or maybe I just like to think or ponder. But I believe because of the environment, because of the physical and mental body that I've created, that thus creates the environment allows me to understand and reflect the thoughts that I have, the reactions that I have, the relationships that I'm in, and the career slash the future that I want to manifest or I want to build. And in this sense, the one life that I live, I don't know how to live it. I don't think anyone knows how to live it. But I think you get ideas from from examples and certain ways of life that you see around people. Circling back to Levi Bentley, he takes care of his body because he was a tennis player, and to me that's really inspiring, or I like to see the work of it because he's not an athlete anymore. Like he's not a pro athlete. But he trains like a pro athlete. Like he's that dedicated to taking care of his body and thus creating a certain environment for his career to be sustained and even accelerate compared to maybe person B that doesn't really take care of his body or his mental. So then his environment kind of comes down as his career. So yeah, I think that's why I really like watching athletes or artists or these content creators, as they say, just grind because that makes me want to grind too, and that makes me think like, what am I doing in this world of media connection and in this world of digital footprints? There's obviously pros and cons, but I think the pros are it gives anyone so much more motivation, mentorship, and a reason to continue. And obviously, these three things can be the opposite. You see these people and you're like, what am I doing with my life when I'm 21? And all these um, artists are like 18, 17, 16. Um, but I think for me, it becomes even more motivation. What am I doing? Sleeping. What am I doing? I don't know. Playing, hanging out. What am I doing? It's really what you what you want at the end, right? What do you want to be? I want to be one of the greatest artists that's ever come out of Korea. And if I want to be that, of course I have to have the confidence and I have to believe. Um, but that much hard work needs to underlie that, which is the environment that I create through my physical health, my mental health. And in that environment, raising the possibilities of my work, providing a positive insight for my audience or for people that need it. Long story short, in my mind, there's this need to organize. And I think it's something like um, it's some sort of OCD of where I don't really mind if like things are messy. Like I don't have to like move things around. But I think I'm very OCD in the abstract sense of my life. Things don't need to be clean my room. I'll clean it. And I swear I'm a clean person, but the my life organization matters more. And obviously like this is obvious. Like I think everyone's like life organization matters more than their room. Um but I think talking to the camera, uploading things, creating a digital footprint of mine, talking about how I want to be the greatest. As corny as it is, I think it holds someone accountable. And it's kind of embarrassing to kind of talk about, but um like I like looking back at my videos that I've made. I think they're fun. I think they're a lot of motivation just because, 19-year-old me was doing something that 21-year-old me is like, "Damn, you did that?" Or you pulled through that. That's kind of impressive, right? Oh shit, I'm getting dizzy. Um what was I talking about? Yeah, so who knows? Like maybe someone sees this and maybe someone gets inspired. And because I love to be inspired by people, I think one of my dreams is to inspire people and to be able to get to know myself more, but also just to like talk to whoever is watching out there and communicate with them and I don't know, just help them move through certain things. I know Levi Bentley has inspired me a lot, but also Rhino from Love Live Serve. I watch his videos about him talking about his life. That helps me a lot. I don't know who is Jakov. Just like literally any Casey Neistat. I don't know. It's just like so many people where it's not like I'm like I'm approaching their video in a sense of I know that they're grinding on whatever that is they're doing. Certain times you feel lost. Certain times you feel low. Certain times you don't know what to do. Certain times everyone has doubts. But seeing someone fight through that doubt and live their life and just grind in their life, I feel like it really sets a fire in my heart to get back on my feet and to start running again. Um, I honestly really don't know what this video is about anymore, but I think it's a reflection of how I want to live my life, organizing my life, how I think, as well as me just saying like I want to make videos like this. Um, and I hope I can inspire people.